What type of business will you buy right now in Europe? I wouldn't buy anything right now. Keep your cash in your panties, sweetheart. The European Central Bank and the U.S. Reserve are printing money like motherfuckers. Yes, they are. What happens when they continue? They continue or stop? They're not going to stop. They're going to continue. How to evaluate businesses with good results last year. Last year's results don't mean shit. What did they produce in the month of March? What are they going to produce in the month of April? And base the purchase price on that. The way we taught you with a purchase price. What are the possible opportunities in the Middle East after the price of petrol went down? There are plenty opportunities, but not buying from the Middle Eastern countries. It's their supply chain. Long time no hear. I'm still waiting for my documentary. I see huge potential in exponentially growing my roll-up within healthcare because a lot of businesses and financial struggling right now, not being primary healthcare stuff, so revenue is down 75%. However, all my banking contacts are now very keen to keeping money in pockets. Well, you're talking to the wrong bankers. Any thoughts where we can find money? I've told you 1,000,000 times. Of course, seller finance is a huge option, but keeping things floating might be a challenge. Well, you're a smart guy. You'll figure it out. Top industries to take advantage of in countries with social unrest. Healthcare, where many will be laid off and violence, corruption will increase. Move there. Andele, muchachos. How do you think the real estate market will be affected by the current situation? Commercial real estate is down, is going to go down. We're not going to need as many buildings, and the price per square foot will go down. Another pendejo from Chicago. At this state of chaos, will this affect the QLA process regarding getting finance? No. If you triple the calls, but you don't make any calls, pendejo. At the moment, interest rates are record low. Yes, they are. Thank you. And this good factor for us? Yes, it is. It is. But you got to get off your dead Mexican ass. What will America's response be to coronavirus? Well, based on the snowflakes, if it was just up to the snowflakes, the country would roll over and die. But fortunately, there's still enough people in America around the world that aren't snowflakes that are going to fight it and put it to bed. But it's going to take, like I said, 18 months to 3 years. Which industries represent the biggest opportunities for the same thing? Same opportunities are in healthcare. When asked to guarantee a owner's financial deal, what's the best answer? Fuck them, big boy, you animal. Just like when you used to run over them when you were, a star running back. Where are the best sources of capital other than seller finance in this environment? There is no better source than seller finance. Come on, Irish. Wake up. What should I avoid during the recession and chaos? You should avoid being a Ruski. In your opinion, which sectors will survive? They're all, not all, but most are going to survive. But there are going to be 20, 30% that don't survive. For example, now this is a far stretch. Are you ever going to go into a massage parlor again? Are you ever going to go to a chiropractor again? Are you ever going to go to a public swimming pool again? Are you ever going to go to a racetrack again and stand shoulder to shoulder? Are you ever going to stand in line to see a football game? Are you ever going to stand in line to go in a movie theater? I can go on and on. COVID-19, safer at home, has created more babies, and thus 2024 baby boom has been predicted. What opportunities can QLA take advantage? Not dissimilar to all the babies that were born at the end of World War II and after World War II, like myself. You can take advantage of it, but that's all healthcare. That's all healthcare. Nurseries. But are you ever going to want to let your kid go to a nursery now? Are you ever going to want to, Montessori learning and all that shit? In the next 2 or 3 years, until we have a vaccine, the answer is no, probably. What will be the greatest source of finance to fund my property and business acquisitions during the downturn? Well, since you don't make any calls, you lazy shit, the seller finance. I see you're a triple barrel name now. Currently, I am loaded in debt to a bank. My parents and Sally Mae. I started an MBA in January, and I told you about that MBA pendejo, and I have only $55 in my bank. How can I manage my stress so I can focus on a question above? The debt seems unpayable to me. More exercise and pray. Will the rules of the game change completely? No. None of the rules have changed vis-a-vis QLA. It's just you need more output, more calls. How does the discussion with banks go regarding wanting funding? Are they any new thing? No, there's nothing new to add. How long will interest rates stay low? God, I wish I knew. They've stayed low way longer than I ever thought they would. But never underestimate how long you can be. But take advantage while the sun shines, kid. What are the best markets to be looking at to take advantage of this opportunity? Healthcare. Okay. The quasi-genius. How do I modify QLA for during, after Corona? You don't modify it, you moron. Okay. You need to take into account cash flow issues. Listen to the answers to the other questions. I mean, it sounds like you haven't gotten any smarter. Oh, another one from the former Eastern European countries. How's your MBA coming? How to request refinance of loans of interest rates have been decreased due to Corona. Well, no, if it's for you, it's not refinance. If you've already financed them and you're paying in the last couple of years, you shouldn't have to refinance them just based on interest rate loans. What are we not paying attention to that we should? I tell you sarcastically to get a haircut, but I'm not going to do that. But just follow the steps and triple or quadruple your output. What affirmations would Mr. Peña be saying to himself during these times? I refuse to participate in the down economy. Well, I used to have an affirmation, and it's a good memory, that the board has taken the decision, or I've taken the decision not to participate in this oil depression. But words to that effect. Given the oncoming financial, what do you mean oncoming financial tsunami? It's here. Do you recommend rolling up and invest in a product focused on service focused or service focused companies? Healthcare providing a service. Okay. Would it be better to postpone deals that have a large portion of the transaction commercial bank debt and focus only on the deals that, yes. And the problem is that they'll go away, well then it's just next. Stick to our deal structure. No, next. Over 8,000 care homes here in California. I'm looking for one. Business only, no property. Correct. 100% seller owner finance, desperate or dying. Correct. Or free cash flow has to service debts serviced by some multiple. I have stuck to these three principles, Mr. P. Admittedly, it has taken longer to find, but it's not impossible. I have my search stuck in higher populated areas, San Diego, Los Angeles County, Orange County, etc. Is it best to continue following up or just follow up there? Another pendejo from Spain. In your latest seminar videos, you mentioned some industries are gone forever. What exactly should we not buy? And you know the answer. The answer is stay in healthcare. Are there specific phrases or lines that should be used to persuade the banks in a unique situation? Will the banks be needing additional reassurances during this time? A collateral or some? No, they're always going to want your personal guarantee. Okay. You have no collateral in this particular person to give them, so what? You have an existing business, which you should be getting money from the loans for your existing business as well. But no, it's the same word. You just have to. In the close, I'm going to go over this, but how many times do I have to tell you? You got to triple your output. Should I go to banks and say if an owner has a good company but don't want to sign personally for a credit line, we buy it from him instead, and we're not paying back the debt service and interest rates until the cash flow? You can say that, but the banks, that's the kind of thing you tell a seller for seller finance, not a bank. How do you minimize the risk of the banks coming after you for the debt? Don't sign the guarantee. Do you expect a world war within the next few years? It's funny coming from this guy. Okay, you worried too much about the details that never happened about doing your first deal, and now you're worrying about shit that's not going to happen either. I'm not saying we're not going to have a war, but it's not going to be over Corona. How can we use the time to chaos to our advantage? Remember, you're still only 2,000 calls away from a deal. How should we prioritize our business objectives right now? Seeking new acquisitions, refinancing, building up cash reserve for future. Yes, that's exactly how you do it. Okay, kid. Sectors with biggest opportunities during a time like this, it's healthcare. I'm not sure it's healthcare down in Haiti though. Okay. What are your thoughts on financing of the deal, especially with seller's finance? How can we manage liquidity and the debt service? Is it possible to negotiate clauses like deferral of payment in case of default? Of course it is. There are. You can't. I'm rolling up assisted living and currently working to close my first deal, which went under LOI right before the COVID-19 pandemic hit the U.S. Here are the terms of the deal. 5 property deal. The first property is $700,000 earn out or blah, 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 blah. What's the fucking question? Originally, the current owner was going to stay in the manager, but now they went away as of last week. And now I have to find a team to manage it. With this in mind, as well as the impact of COVID, how do you think I should restructure the deal? Restructure the deal from scratch. Clean piece of paper. It's not worth what you paid for it here. What opportunities will I have after the coronavirus fiasco is over? What are the industries? Healthcare. At this time, is it better to pursue a QLA strategy of private acquisitions, a QLA government contracts? Government contracts are always good. Post-transaction with these micro physio health firms, how do we go in on premises? You don't. Just come in briefly a few times. You can still look at these things, but you have to have spacing. Sit where the possible of business and do work and calls. Work from home only if needed. You know, I don't believe in buying things that you haven't seen. So to me, that's essential.